Hi people, and this is a video I'm going to do today about the Police Scotland's oath. You know, we've been out in the field quite a lot, so let's get started with this. And we've just discovered, well, we've not just discovered, but none of them really know their oath. So, constables in Scotland are required to make the declaration given in Section 10 of the Police and Fire Reform Scotland Act 2012. On appointment, the declaration must be made before a sheriff or justice of the peace. And here's the oath or declaration. I do solemnly, sincerely and truly declare and affirm that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of constable with fairness, integrity, diligence and impartiality, and that I will uphold fundamental human rights and accord equal respect to all people according to the law. Now, before this section 10 this specific act, which is the Police and Fire Reform Scotland Act 2012, we fell under the Police Scotland Act 1967, and then we fell under the Police Scotland Act 1857. So this has been updated in the last 9 or 10 years, this thing. So let's watch this video and let's see. Right, so.
Ooh. Are you here?
Sorry, how you doing?
Are you here as a police constable today?
How you getting on?
Can you read me your oath?
I don't know what you're looking for.
Can you read me your...
Right, so I'm saying, can you read me your oath? And he says, I don't know what you're looking for. So he's been pretty honest. He's been pretty blunt. He doesn't know what I'm looking for. He's got not one piece of insight or awareness. You know, this is not to besmirch or lambaste the police. You know, but you remember these characters, and these two actually seemed okay, but these characters will put statements into authorities and courts about you. They will come and give evidence, and they don't know their own oath. It's like a mechanic asking a mechanic to fix your car, and they've not got any direction or guidance of what they should be doing. You know, and it would be negligence if you didn't know what you were doing. Now this guy here, wasn't he that young? I would say he'd been in the police quite a bit, because the other one had been in for 22 years, you know. And I would say that he was maybe in his early 40s. He should know his bloody oath, for goodness sake. How is he upholding any fundamental human rights towards people and treating them with integrity, you know, and respect and equality if he doesn't know his oath? You know, it's not well. Let's go listen to it.
Oath is Section 10, the Police Fire Reform Scotland Act, that you gave, no, that should be in your head of the day, that you gave to Ian Livingston. So can you give me your oath?
Oh, I joined before then.
Can you read me your oath?
I'm not going to read you my oath.
How can you not?
I'm just not going.
Well, you're not here as a constable then. You're not here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start serving your memorandum.
Right, and I was a bit stuttery with my words here, because I'm not very good at saying that word, but it's a memorandum of understanding, and this is what we're going to start serving the police with, because the police should know. So, oops, that's a picture of the hospital, so we're not going to start serving them with that. This is it here. So, this is an official rapport in accord with this public memorandum of understanding, you know, and it'll have the PC's number, rank, and if they can't cite us their oath, then, you know, we put the date, the time, the locus, you know, and basically they can go and watch the following video, which you'll see later on in this video, about what the chief constable's declaration of their oath or whatever, and listen, it's just painful to watch in lifetimes. But this is what we're going to start composing up, and because if these people didn't know why they're in the field, but they know how to put cuffs on people and know how to throw them in a police van and snatch phones off them, etc., you know, then they must sign this. And if they refuse to sign it, it'll all be filmed and it'll all be noted, and their number will be noted, and we'll just basically say they couldn't be policing by consent, because there was no consent there, because they didn't know what they were doing. You know, they had no capacity to police. So let's go back to this video.
Understanding, because if you approach anybody and you don't know your oath, then you've got no contract.
You're the one supporting us.
No, but I'm asking you here that you're a police constable.
Listen to that. You're the ones who approached us. Is it no normal for members of the public to approach the police and ask them direction and guidance and questions? As if we've actually done something unlawfully by approaching them. Honestly, this is not well.
Constable today,
question.
you know,
That's fine.
we're for Police Scotland Angels,
No, we're not.
and I study the law. I've got a qualification in law.
I've
And
studied before.
you should,
Yeah,
but you should know your oath today,
Yeah, but-
Constable. You should
Yeah,
know
I'm
your
not
oath
gonna say
every
anything
day.
out
But why not?
But you should
That's
know your
it.
oath though, eh?
You know,
When you're requested to express it, surely.
Listen, you've approached me. I mean,
Well, as a member of the public and asking you what your oath is, what is your badge number?
my badge number's number 361.
Right, okay, what's your badge?
K285.
Right, okay. This is good because this is good feedback for us to tell people that police constables on the street of Scotland don't know their oath. You know, I know everything about what I'm undertaking most days in law, so I need to have a reassurance that you're a public servant and you know your oath.
And has people got that confidence and reassurance for these two characters? You know? It's just not correct. It's not right. And they'll, you know, you'll get the dramatics in court. Some wee young PF saying, and how many years have you been a police constable? And you ask them, now this is the remit that we're going to follow now. You instruct your solicitor to say to these people when they're in court to cite their oath spontaneously, and I bet you they can't. If they're in a witness box or if you're self-representing, ask them their oath. You're not doing anything wrong. You're asking them what their oath of the office is and to the people. And also as well, ask them if they were under their oath when they arrested you. And ask them as well when they wrote the statement, that I would say the grammatical deception about you. Ask them if they were under their oath. Okay?
And you're saying you can't remember that?
Listen, I'm not going to sit here and read.
Why not? Why would you not be?
I'm here to try and police an event, alright? I'm not here
But
to
you're a
talk
police
to you.
constable. You're a police constable, so you should know your oath.
Right. As I said,
You
I'm not
don't
gonna
know
sit
it,
here
and that's very tragic, isn't it? Do you not think so? Right, okay, Peter.
No, but thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, okay,
Thank you very much.
It was a reasonable question.
Thank you.
So let's go on to this other video. Right, this one here. Now this is for this is Ian Livingston. You know, let's go back to the end of that. Let's go back and let's try and replay that.
On Wednesday the 9th of September, 125 students took to the Parade Square at the Scottish Police College for the first open-air oath of office. We spoke with Chief Constable Ian Livingston regarding this important landmark in every police officer's career.
COVID has made
Scottish Police College for the first open-air oath of office. We spoke with Chief Constable Ian Livingston regarding this important landmark in every police officer's career.
So see, there's that silly reporter. You know, what has been normalised and programmed into saying police officer's career. You'll never hear Ian Livingston say this. Listen to the video. It's important. Constable.
Here.
COVID has meant we've had to look at a number of our procedures, a number of our important ceremonial events, and none are more important than the oath of office. We would
the ceremony events in the castle.
normally do it in the lecture theatre, and I would shake the hand of every single new constable. We can't do that because of social distancing, but I thought it was very, very important that we have the oath ceremony. It allows me to address the new constables really immediately after they have taken the oath, the formality of doing it with the Justice of the Peace. So we were able.
Now look at these hand gestures there. The hand up and the one behind the back. And I'll let you work out or interpret what you think the gestures are about.
To do it on the Parade Square. It's a first, but a really important event, and it was important that we marked that milestone, notwithstanding some of the restrictions we've got as a result of COVID.
Work collectively, take personal responsibility, and try your absolute hardest at all times to serve the people of Scotland.
So how can you serve the people of Scotland if you don't know your oath? You know, you can know how to get handcuffs on them. You know how to lie and get revenue through the courts. Get them a criminal record. You know, snatch their phones. Lie, throw them in a police van. you know, and this is all, you know, and they all followed due process. Well, something has to be done, people, because this isn't acceptable. This is not acceptable, how people are being treated. People in their 40s and 50s getting criminal records because these jokers didn't know what they've got a costume on, you know.
Coming in to the Police Service of Scotland, taking the oath, and a recognition that their status has now changed because they're now holders of the office of constable. It's a really, really important day in their life.
Of course it's an important day because they're now holders. I would say stakeholders, you know. And remember, we used to see the stake, but they're stakeholders. They're holders, okay. Policy officers, that's what they are.
Lives. They will now go in to the public service that is the Police Service of Scotland. They'll work in their communities, supporting their communities, and providing the very, very high standards of policing that we seek to give to our fellow citizens.
While you're only in the early stages of your training, recruitment and selection to Police Scotland is no mean feat. This will have required commitment and effort on your part. These are qualities that the service will continue to demand from you, both in your training here at Tullyallen and beyond.
The Office of Constable is one that is long standing. It exists for centuries. I am the holder of the Office of Constable, regardless.
Exactly. He's the holder of the Office of Constable. So when they're doing their negligence and they're doing their unlawful acts on people, you know, and abusing the process, he's responsible. But anytime anything responsible or any challenge or any litigation comes his way, he hides in the castle. And he's got his network of people to help him do that.
Regardless of what rank you have within the police service, it's the Office of Constable that gives you the authority over and with your fellow citizens. It's not from an Act of Parliament, it's not anything that I grant as Chief Constable. The authority, the legitimacy that policing gets and every single constable gets are from the consent and the support and the trust of their fellow citizens.
How can you have trust and consent with that guy you previously seen for Paisley, the blue bib cop? Well, see, I'm saying cop again, constable, that actually didn't know why he was there. He didn't know his oath. This is not well.
And so it's really, really important that the officers realise that the new powers that they now have come with great responsibility. Responsibility that's founded on the bond of trust with their fellow citizens. There's only...
But you trust that guy, you know, who you were chatting to, or who I was chatting to, if you were in that situation and he didn't know his oath? Would you trust him? You know, your liberty can be taken away with these people. You know?
Only certain roles in British life or Scottish life that require an oath to be taken, and one of them is the Office of Constable. So that's why it's really, really important for me as Chief Constable to speak to the new constables, to welcome them into the police family and underline.
The police family, people. The omerati to the police family, go and look it up, the word omerati. You know, the code of silence to the police family. You know, you put a complaint in about the police, you put any litigation their way, and they will close ranks, which they've already closed ranks, but they will close ranks, and their omerati or their obligation is to the police family. You know.
That I expect public service to be the heart of everything that they do.
I wish you all the very, very best, and I congratulate you on joining policing. Very, very well done. Thank you.
So people, that's that, you know. I will leave it there, and basically, you know, that's it. You can take what you want for this video, but there's quite a decent pieces of data in here and how to handle yourself, and we can actually get these we can get these cards to you about Police Scotland's oath, because I think you're going to need them whenever you've got any encounter. I just didn't mean at a protest or anything. You could get stopped by them in the street, on the car, you know, and just follow the directions in that memorandum of understanding. And I'll leave it there, okay? Have a good night.